Good afternoon. My name's Tom, and this morning I had a cast iron fail. And so that ended up, I think, giving me a good subject for a video. So, first, cast iron options if you want to actually get into cast iron cooking. And I recommend you do because if you're serious about cooking, you get a really good distribution of heat with it. This is an enameled cast iron pot, which is my first cast iron, and I really like it. It's easy to clean. It has a drawback in that if you let it get too hot, like you crank it up on high and let it sit, you're probably going to crack the enamel because the enamel and the cast iron expand at different rates and max out at different points where they stop expanding. So, don't crank this up on high and don't walk away from it. These two are actually a set. They kind of make like a small cast iron Dutch oven, like this one. But they work separately as a skillet and a saucepan or pot. And this one is the one I use the most. You may be able to notice here the metal looks different. That's where I had my fail this morning. And so we'll get into that because cleaning cast iron, I usually can just let it get hot, hit it with cold water and a scouring brush, gets all the food off, and then wipe it dry and call it good. If it gets really bad, I use a mix of kosher salt and baking soda and a little bit of water to create an abrasive I can scrub with. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, my methods this morning failed. And things were cooked on to the point where I had to use SOS. And that has created that bald spot, you could call it, in the season of my cast iron. So that spot is no longer going to have any sort of non-stick. So I have my oven cranked to 500 degrees. And we are going to create more season on this, or more accurately, if you want to be scientific about it, we're creating a polymer layer. Basically, we're getting double bonded carbon atoms stuck to our iron, and by burning it at a high temperature, we ensure that we have a layer of highly slippery surface on there. But the thing is, you definitely want to make sure it's a thin layer. You'll notice I'm making sure that maybe half a tablespoon to tablespoon I dumped in there gets distributed everywhere else on this pan, including the bottom, because this will help prevent any rust issues as well. And what we're going to do is we're going to do that with the other pot because it's going to be in the oven anyway. Turn them face down like this, and then we're going to put them in the oven for an hour. They're going to be screaming hot when I'm done, and that's okay. We're going to give it another layer of oil on the cooked surface because you're never getting full coverage on a single layer, at least not on a microscopic level. And so you do one layer on top of another layer on top of another layer, and you end up with what is considered a well-seasoned pan. And when you do that, the more you do that, the more layers you have, the less area is available, the less sticky area is available for your food to glom onto and adhere to. I'm not entirely sure what happened this morning because that pan had many layers of season on it. But it is what it is. if you only have to scour it with steel wool once in a year and a half, 2 years, then you've been doing everything right. So I set my timer to 1 hour. When it goes off, I'll come back. I'll take the pot and the pan out of the oven, and I'll reseason it. And I'll give it at least one more. So it'll have 2 layers of season over that current bald spot. Maybe 3, depends on whether or not I gotta leave the house, because I don't want to leave the oven running unattended. Well, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments, and have a great day.